babies looking for food, starvation, the recipe, people subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day in every crew. Don't let it go, it's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Even 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct. Then I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and I feel we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers, cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't hear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war.
What's up, Bits? What's up? Yeah, what's up, Dylan? What's up? Yo, check it out, everybody. Welcome to the program. Sorry for the funny intro, but check it out. Check it out. I mean, listen, this is, you know what? I'm not surprised. I mean, the mere fact that people could even be around yesterday saying, you know, is Trump going to pardon him? We were here yesterday saying, is Trump going to pardon this guy? And people are like, listen, I was saying, listen, you don't know what Trump is going to do because Trump had Mamdani in the, what is his name? Mamdani, right? Exactly. Listen, they had him in the White House and he had all of the MAGA people shook. So really, that's just symptomatic of Trump's whole damn thing. This whole thing is just bizarre, crazy, but also criminal. Listen, a conspiracy a conspiracy afoot, Jan 6. Literally. And what type of people would really attempt some fucking shit like that in the first place but some nuts? But some nuts. Straight up. Some crazy people. And, crazy people run into all kinds of other character because, to be honest, there's some people, foreign nations, that want some Americans to get crazy on each other. There are, you know what I mean? And they found a bunch of numbskulls and they went down to the Capitol building and literally knocked some police upside the head violently. You know what I'm saying? Can you treat ICE like that? Can we treat ICE like that? Would that be legal? Is that what people should do? Should people treat ICE like Jan 6 people treated their representatives? Is that what we should do? Would that be legal? Put a 1 in the chat if that would be legal. If people treated ICE like the Jan 6 rioters treated the police on Jan 6. You know what I'm saying? Is that what's going on? Should we do that? Is that normal? Is that okay? No, just let us know. Is that the standard? Is that the standard for your peace? Is that peaceful protest? Because if that's the case, a whole lot of people are going to get very peaceful on ICE. Straight up. And there's really, what can you say? You have to teach people what the standard is going to be. But we know these people bullshit when they say that. They know damn right they were violent. I mean, come on. They did plan and plot and have something to do with Obama. Yes, we know all that. We know all that. That shit is obvious. That's in plain sight. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that tries to argue the shit backwards, yo, you are stupid and brain. You got the okie doke pulled on you if you even attempt to argue this shit backwards. And we're gonna watch plenty of MAGA people try to argue the shit backwards. Like, oh no, that was peaceful. Did you see yesterday's chat? That was peaceful, yo. That was peaceful. That was peaceful. That was peaceful. Yo. The chat in this damn place was lit with these nuts, with these MAGA nuts out here talking about that was peaceful. Yeah, that was peaceful. That was peaceful. I mean, you literally have to ask these people, you have to ask them straight up questions like, is it okay to use violence for political purposes? You have to ask them because you don't know. Because they so slippery and slidey. They say anything any goddamn time. But according to them, Jan 6 was peaceful. Sure, you're right. But in any case, symptomatic of how crazy this is, because that is just symptomatic, right? But there's more. It's all crazy. It could be that Trump already pardoned this dude because the way he wrote the pardon in the first place. The way he wrote the pardon, we up here yesterday talking about, can Trump pardon him? Yeah, maybe he could, Shit, people like, no, he would never do that. Trump would never do that. No, because the bomber, that would be accepting violence. That would be promoting violence. And Jan 6 rioters had nothing to do with violence. Hey, listen here. If you read the pardon, Trump pardoned everybody, basically. He pardoned everybody. And the wording is so wide. He made it very clear. If you came down there to knock some heads with the police and kill some representatives, you got a pardon. Basically, that's what Trump did. He wrote the shit so wild, so wide. It's like, yo, and in what world do we really have to sit back and watch a guy that bombed someplace actually go there and litigate this shit? Yes, because Trump is so goddamn stupid. That's the situation the United States of America is in. We're going to actually have to watch this be litigated because Trump's he did it. His purpose was to pardon everyone down with Jan 6. Period. And that's exactly how he fucking wrote it. That's exactly how he wrote it. It's insanity. I mean, it's that crazy out here. It's crazy out in these streets, yo. It's crazy in the world. It's crazy in the White House. The White House is ballistic. The White House is on fucking fire. Anything can happen. Listen, this guy, the only reason why you write a pardon that wide is because you was up to a whole fucking lot. That's the only reason you write a pardon so wide, so open, because you wanted to cover a whole lot of fucking people. The guy's over there with the guns. The dude's over here with the blah, blah. The person over here with the... Oh, he was just like, fuck it. Everybody anywhere near it. Anyone down or near with the motherfucker. he just invited everyone. And he invited everyone. It's written like a all-you-can-eat smorgasbord. Anybody want to come down and overthrow the government? You get a pardon. I mean, that's literally how Trump wrote it. And it's, I don't know how there's any way possible to get out of this except to try to, this is the Supreme Court you're talking about, right? We talking about the Supreme Court. We talking about 6 Republicans here. You see what I'm saying? We talking about 6 Republicans. So, again, and think about this. Think about this again. Now, if you came down there. Now, I mean, hold on. Here's the other thing. I'm sorry. Before I fuck up. I'm sorry. Here's the other thing. This dude, I'm sorry, he's starting to look a whole lot like a Patsey. He's starting to look a whole heaping lot like a Patsey. Like straight up like something. It's not adding up, actually. It's really not fucking adding up. It's not. How does this guy... Okay, it's one thing to build a bomb. Yeah, no problem. You build your bomb, motherfucker. Goddamn. You hate it. It wouldn't be the first time somebody in the United States of America built a bomb. Hell fucking no. And used it on a whole lot of people. Pipe bomb, any other kind of bomb. That's normal in the U.S. Motherfuckers use bombs. Okay? In my lifetime, we use bombs. Okay? The Oklahoma bombing building. Goddamn, and something in Atlanta, that time where they used the pipe bomb and blew up all those innocent people, some racist bigot, right? Yeah. It's more times than that. That's no pipe bomb. What the fuck? But here's the thing. Here's the fucking curious part. If he's so smart to build the bomb, why the fuck is he so dumb at getting caught? Like, the shit they caught him with is shit that any fucking body would know. You can't do that if you want, unless you want to get caught. I mean, what the fuck you do? I'm going to make a bomb. I'm going to make me a pipe bomb. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy it with my credit card. I'm going to go buy it here. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to buy this shit from here. Here, every store, go in there with a camera. Hello, I'm buying a bomb. Here, swipe my card. I'm buying a bomb today. Then you drive down to the place you want to bomb with your motherfucking car. Anybody in DC from DC knows they got car cameras set up. The feds got cameras motherfucking local police can't even use. You see what I'm saying? That place is cameraed fucking up. Like, who the fuck drives their car there? What's the point? You want to fucking get caught. I mean, I'm sorry. And I do not put it past these motherfuckers to literally be down with this too. This is also some shit. This is also a scandal. This is also going to lead right. I'm telling you, this is going to lead back to them. It's going to lead back to them. This is not right. This ain't normal. This is not normal. Just think about that. What is up with this? Who would do it like this? I mean, no, man. Something is really weird. Something's really, really fucking weird. But in any case, it doesn't even matter. It's even more insidious because, look, I mean, even if he's not the person who did it, maybe he was set up to do it. Because, again, remember, the bomb didn't blow up. You don't know what this was, how this was. Nobody still, in other words, no one really still knows what the fuck is up with that. It's too many questions still left out there. And I'm sorry, dude. Look, I'm sorry. This guy definitely knows nothing about not getting caught. So, I mean, it just does, to me, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You know, how is it that you in this day and time would think to bomb a place and take your car anywhere near it. Why? How would you think to do that? Why would you think to buy bomb parts and buy with your own? It's so obvious that can be traced that way. That is so obvious. That's, it's half of the hard part is buying the shit, you know what I'm saying, in a way that can't be noticed. But this guy used it so it can be directly traced back to him. I don't know. It seems very, very weird. But when you read Trump's shit, look at this. When you read how he wrote the pardon, it just basically says anybody. Here it is. You maggots. This is your president. This is your MAGA president right here, issuing pardons. Okay. First of all, you should be motherfucking insulted that he would give pardons to people that assaulted over 100 goddamn police. Listen, I would love to be able to whip one of your asses like this, like you whipped the police's ass. I'm going to tell you, like, really, I really would, since you think it was peaceful. If you think that was peaceful, you deserve your ass whipped like that. Like, straight up. Like, just keep it real. If you think that was peaceful, you deserve to get your ass whipped like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. Don't cry when the rabbit got the gun. You know what I'm saying? When it's your turn to get your ass whipped, understand it. Understand why. Because that was a belligerent assault. There's no way in hell you stand for justice when you beating the motherfucking Capitol Police like that. There is no way you're a patriot. You are the scum of the United States of America. Like, no mistake about it. No matter how this turns out, you are the scum of the United States of America. You assaulted police because you didn't agree with the election results. That's what you did. You are a fucking terrorist. You are a fucking terrorist. Like, let's be honest about it. But here's your dumbass president. This is just insane. See this? Right up on the White House website. They got this bold and proud right up on the motherfucking way. This is it. Here it is, y'all. Granting pardons and communicado. Granting pardons and communication of sentences for certain offenses relating to the events at or near the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. Proclamation. This proclamation ends a grave national injustice. See, look, already right here, grave national injustice. I would be arguing this if I was the defense attorney and shit. I would be like, President Trump said this was a grave national injustice, that the election was over. Yeah, that's what he said. This is how sick this dude is. He still have the language himself up on the White House thing, calling the election a grave national injustice. That's evidence for the defense. Really, that's evidence for the defense. It was a grave. Listen, Your Honor, the guy doesn't do this. He doesn't have a criminal record. But look, a grave injustice happened. This man witnessed a grave injustice like this country has never seen before. Should we play the Trump video back where he even says that you're gonna have to go down and where the hell is this video at? I'm sorry. Let me pull this out. Let me get this shit straight, because this is going to be quite an interesting ride. Thank you to Donald J. Trump. Let me see here. 2 seconds. Yeah, because it's only proper to run this speech. Actually, really. It's only proper to. Because this guy was doing it for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, this guy did it for Trump. Like, specifically. He didn't do it for the rest of you maggots out there, okay? But he did do it for Trump. What the heck? 2 seconds. All right, I'm back. Yeah, sorry about that. I had something ill and out with this light. Can y'all see me? Let me see something here. Let me just turn this, see if I can get the light right. All right, here we go. Now, yeah, I don't know what's up with my light. I have to restart it or something. But in any case, here, let me just pull this up. And this is really, it's just, because if you skip over
I learned
this
that
stuff,
ChatGPT works best.
if you skip over the stuff, right, people forget. People literally forget that this MFer went out there and literally told people, go up there and rip up the house. Make some noise. He told people to fight like you won't have a country anymore. That's exactly what Trump told them. So, let's stop right here. Grave national injustice. I'm going to pull this back up. Where does it say? Oh, can y'all see me? Here we go. Let me pull this back up now. Right. Now, Trump, he said this. He said the proclamation ends a grave national injustice, right? That has been perpetrated upon the American people for over the last 4 years and begins a process of national reconciliation. Acting pursuant to grant of authority in Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution of the United States, I do hereby, right? All right. Commute the sentences of the following individuals convicted of offenses related to the events that occurred at or near the United States Capitol on Jan 6, 2021, to time served as of January 2025. Now, he names all these names, and then it goes on to say B, right? Grant a full, complete, and unconditional pardon to all other individuals convicted of offenses related to events that occurred at or near the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. The Attorney General shall, this is an order to the Attorney General. I mean, really. So this is going to have, likely going to the Supreme Court no matter what happens. It's likely going to the Supreme Court no matter what goes on. Because, I mean, when you start ordering the Attorney General just flat out like this, the Attorney General shall, and that means she shall or he shall, right? And, you could argue that, oh, it wasn't meant for this and it wasn't meant for that. But, hey, where's the precedent for that in court? And, where's the precedent for that in records, in prior court hearings? Where's the precedent that says a bomb is not included in a pardon? Where does that come from? I mean, do you know of any type of situation where the law says that that a bomb is not included in a pardon? You can't do a pardon. I mean, so I'm not really sure, but in any case, let's stop this because here go Trump. Let me pull Trump's ass up right here. Here's Trump. Oh, wait a second. Let me pull him up over here. I'm sorry. Let me pull Trump over on the other one. Boom. Here we go. Let's go down and see where he's at. Yeah, but in any case, he's pardoning this dude. Look, Attorney General shall administer and effectuate the immediate issuance of certificates of pardon to all individuals described in Section B above, and shall ensure that all individuals convicted of offenses related to the event that occurred at or near the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021, who are currently held in prison are released immediately. The Bureau of Prisons shall immediately implement all instructions from the Department of Justice regarding this directive. I further direct Attorney General to pursue dismissal with prejudice to all government to the government of all pending indictments against individuals for their conduct related to the events at or near the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. The Bureau of Prisons shall immediately implement all instructions from the Department of Justice regarding this directive. So it's people that are going to argue that that's only for, others. They're going to argue that, right? But acting pursuant to the authority of Article 2 of the Constitution. But let me see here. Let me play this real quick for Trump. And you let me know. There's one other part here I want to show you. You let me know, is this dude, how wide can this proclamation go? Because, of course, right here it says, over the last 4 years begins acting pursuant to the grant of authority, Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution of the United States, I do hereby commute the sentences of the following individuals convicted of offenses related to the. So the question is that all? But in any case, let's listen to Trump, right? And his speech, because any attorney is going to also use this. Anybody is going to use this. Any attorney is going to use Trump's speech because this guy.
Did Donald Trump accidentally?
This guy, oh shit, yeah, yo, exactly. And this is also Midas Touch that reported. It's a few people that reported, but hold on.
Pardon the suspected pipe bomber from January 6, 2021.
What is this? Yeah, okay. But let me go to Trump's speech first. Right, here we go. Because see, the attorney, the defense attorney is going to definitely argue. He's going to definitely argue, right, that Trump. Here it is. That he was listening to Trump. Like straight up. That's what he's going to argue. And he's going to argue this thing right here. Look, the proclamation ends a grave national. He's going to talk about the things that Trump said because he called the prosecution of all those people a grave injustice. But why did he call it that? And what type of acts? Some of these people's acts, they hurt police, like straight up. It's assault on police. Maiming a police officer. You know what I'm saying? Beating a police officer with a baton. Like, it's like serious charges here. You see what I mean? Against police officers, right? So Trump, that's violent. These are violent acts that Trump pardoned. So they're going to have to litigate like, okay, but what does the violence have to do with it? Because what about the intention behind it, right? And this guy didn't hurt anybody. Watch. Now listen to Trump. This is what Trump was telling people on that day. This is literally how Trump was talking on TV. This was blasted all over the United States of America to every baby in the country, every 8-year-old in elementary school, every 12-year-old in middle school, every 16-year-old in high school, and everybody else, right? Everybody else. This was his message to the United States of America and the people. The people, that brought guns down there to this place right here. They let people in with guns into this place where he's talking right now.
Up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women, and we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
Right. So that was one of them.
Hey,
Hold
NBC
on.
News
Let me,
viewers, thanks for checking out our...
Let me play the long one. 2 seconds. Hold on. I want to play the long one here. Can I get that up? If I go like this, let me see here. I mean, it's very important to review what that day was like. So to put it in context with the bomber, right? And the fact that the feds, this is another thing they're going to have to argue. The feds originally suspected that this was part of this, that this was just another part, that this part right here was designed to distract people to go, the police, to go there to the DNC and the RNC, and so that then people would bum rush the Capitol building and there would be less police. That was what the feds originally, thought the plot was, right? So then they would have to litigate that and argue that, right? So let me see here. Let me go back. Pause. Hold on. Here we go. And then we're going to go back to look at some elements here. But this is I'm really curious about this. It's really sad that one would even have to ponder, is Trump a part of this? Like, is this something Trump set out? But I got to tell you, deep down inside of me, I believe it is. Like, I believe this is just another part of the same day, obviously, same conspiracy, same acts. It was intentional. And
now it is
and
up to Congress to confront this egregious assault.
And people are just coming to find out how, more about the plot, right? That's what I actually believe. I don't believe that this was, let me see something. Yeah, I don't believe that this was not part of the plot. I believe this was firmly part of the plot. And, yeah, it's just that sad. I wouldn't believe that people
now it
would
is up
plot
to Congress
this way,
to confront this egregious assault on our democracy.
Come on now. I would never imagine that people would plot like this. This is crazy to even conceive of. Like, of course this is crazy. This is criminal to conceive of this. You either are going to live in a country where you're going to encourage people to vote and live with the outcomes of the vote, or why don't you just get the fuck out of the country? Seriously, if you can't live with the outcome of a vote, why don't you just get the fuck out of the United States of America? Like, what are you doing? There's no way where in the rule book where it says you can do this. In fact, it says you can't. You see what I mean? And people have every right to look at you as treasonous. Other Americans have every right to look at you as treasonous. Like, straight up. And why? Because of this, right? Because of this. Now, hold on. I want to see. I want to see some more of this speech, right? I want to find Can I find the original? I'm going to play one more clip, but I want to try to find the original actually to this video real quick. Well, hold on. Let's just see this right here.
Hello, good evening. Tim Davie has tonight resigned as Director General of the BBC.
What is this? Where's Trump? Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Now it is up. Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. But I said, something's wrong here. Something's really wrong. Can't have happened. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Right. So, yeah, he did say fight like hell. So let me ask you, did those people fight like hell? Did those people fight like hell in the down there in front of the Capitol building? Did they fight like hell? or what were they doing down there, in front of the Capitol? I'm just curious. Put a 1 in the chat if those people fought like hell. Put a 1 in the chat if those people fought like hell. I'm just curious. Let me know. Oh, let me see something. Is this up here? Where's the chat at? Right. Put a 1 in the chat if those people fought like hell. I want to hear from everybody. Maggots. Use maggots also. Did they fight like hell? Did they fight like hell? I don't know. You tell me. Did they fight like hell? I want to know what you think. Did they fight like hell? He told them to fight like hell. I'm just curious. This is what he said. Is that what they did, or did they not fight like hell? You let me know. Did they fight like hell? Put a 1 in the chat if they fought like hell. Put a 2 in the chat if they didn't fight like hell. I mean, what the fuck is the point? Because I saw somebody hit a police officer flat upside the head with a hockey stick. Like, bow. I mean, that's a pretty good, strike on the head. I'm surprised the dude ain't fucking die. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. Did they fight like hell? I mean, he told them to fight like hell.
Fight like hell. And if you
He said, fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you ain't going to have a country. Were you to take him literally or figuratively? Figuratively. Yeah, sorry about that. Figuratively. Is that a figurative thing that Trump was talking about, or a literal thing? Is it just hyperbole and shit? Fight like hell means anything,
I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. But I said, something's wrong here. Something's really wrong. Can't have happened. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
So basically, it was peaceful and patriotic. So can you do that? What people did to the police in September and Jan 6, can they do that to ICE and be called peaceful and patriotic? If they did the same thing to ICE, would it be called peaceful and patriotic? Put a 1 in the chat if they did that to ICE, it would be called peaceful and patriotic. If you hit ICE upside the head with a hockey stick, would that be peaceful and patriotic? Put a 1 in the chat. I mean, really, because there's somebody that said that was peaceful and patriotic. Here, look, Jose says, march peacefully and patriotically. March peacefully. That's not what Trump said. Trump didn't say a goddamn thing about peaceful and patriotic. He said, you better fight like hell or you ain't going to have a country.
Probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. But I said, something's wrong here. Something's really wrong.
He said, something's wrong.
Can't have happened. And we fight.
And we fight.
We fight like hell.
We fight like hell.
And if you don't fight like hell.
And if you don't fight like hell.
You're not going to have a country anymore.
You're not going to have a country anymore. Seems pretty fucking clear to me. What did you think he was talking about? What did you think Trump was talking about when he said that? You had a country. Yeah, you still had a country. What was he talking about? What was he talking about? I mean, yeah, you let me know. What did your hitting the police upside the head get you? What did that do? Beating the police officers. Did you get something for that? Did you change the results? So what the fuck was Trump intending on doing? I mean, you think you're going to go down there and just knock police upside the head every fucking day you want to have a peaceful and patriotic march? Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Fuck MAGA. Hold on. Who wrote that in the chat? Let me get that out here. I see that got blocked. No, we got to unblock that shit. Fuck MAGA. Fuck MAGA. For real. Here, actually, thank you very much for that comment. Shit, let me see here. Let's listen to some more.
Anymore. Our exciting adventure. Really wrong. Can't have happened. And we fight. We fight like hell.
We fight like hell.
If you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. Our exciting adventures and boldest endeavors have not yet begun.
What happened here today was an insurrection incited by the President of the United States. Those who choose to continue to support his dangerous gambit by objecting to the results of a legitimate democratic election will forever be seen as being complicit in an unprecedented attack against our democracy.
I agree. Yeah, to me, that whenever you got a hockey stick and you just pull it back like this, like, and wow, right on the police officer's head, and you're not saying you're sorry that you did that, I have to take you as a violent person. You know, like, no apology either. Just no apology. They didn't even tell the police officer sorry. It's just like, knock him over the head. I'm being peaceful, officer. Okay. But yeah, so you get the drift. Trump actually did tell these people to fight like hell. He told them to fight like hell. That's what he told them. And he riled them up, and then he got them down there. And then you saw what it was. They were riled up. This was like, you know, they kicked in the windows. They beat police officers, stomped on police officers, poked and prodded police officers, sprayed fucking pepper mace in their face. Like, really, they slammed one dude's head in the door. I mean, like, they literally beat these police officers fucking silly. Something I would never accept. Okay? Those police officers, I don't understand them. Like, I really don't. Because basically, what would you lose by shooting their ass? Nothing. You could have shot their ass the moment they started assaulting you. You know, and it's called I Fear for My Life. Okay? That's what it's called every day of the week in the United States of America. I fear for my life. Now litigate it, bitch. Okay? Like, straight up. You goddamn lucky. You were very lucky. And I think that was a crime. You know, I think that was literally a crime. And I dare you to do it again. Take your ass down there and do it again. And see what's going to happen to you. You're going to get shot this time. Okay? Let's keep it real. That was not peaceful, and that was not patriotic at all. That was like, damn, what is the dude's name that just said? What's his name? Mitt Romney. It was what Mitt Romney said it was. Okay? It was what Mitt Romney said it was. Now, look, here's Trump signing the pardons.
Good evening. We're coming on the air with more breaking news on this historic day. On the evening of his inauguration, President Donald Trump not wasting any time getting down to business. He has just returned to the White House and is signing a series of executive actions in the Oval Office, where he is pardoning some 1,500 January 6 rioters who have been convicted for participating in the attack on the Capitol 4 years ago. The president is speaking now. Let's listen in.
Yes, sir. First, we have a list of pardons and commutations relating to events that occurred on January 6, 2021.
Okay, and how many people is this?
I think this order will apply to approximately 1,500 people, sir.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Full pardon or commutations?
Full pardon. We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research.
Yeah, it's the wording. It's a full pardon. So full pardon actually covers more than the people on the list. Look, check this out. I mean, this is what they're going to argue. And this is typical. This is already precedent. You know what I mean? And that's the crazy part about it. This is precedent already. I mean, it's sad, but yeah. Look at this. Does the pardon cover all persons, even persons who are not on the list or known yet to the authorities? Short answer, yes. A presidential blanket pardon can cover people who are not named, not on any list, and even people who were not yet identified by authorities, but only if the wording of the pardon actually includes them, right? So now let's break it down clearly. A president, A presidential pardon can cover unnamed or unknown individuals. This is long established law. A president may issue a pardon that applies to a class of people, not just named individuals. Okay? Andrew Johnson did it in 1865. I mean, because these dudes, they always talk about 1778. Okay, yeah, well, 1865 then, okay? 100 years later. So if you want to go back to 1770, then you should be happy to go back to this. Issue multiple blanket pardons to entire categories of Confederates. Damn, yeah. Pardons to Confederates, enemies of the United States of America. Thousands of people made unidentified at the time. Many unidentified at the time. Okay. Jimmy Carter in 1977 gave a blanket pardon to all Vietnam draft invaders, right? Evaders, including people the government did not have on any list. Gerald Ford pardoned Richard Nixon preemptively, even though preemptively, that's before they even, even though he was never charged with a crime. Okay. So before he was charged with a crime, even though he wasn't, it's just in case you were. That applies to you too, meaning a person does not even have to be accused yet. So yes, in principle, Class A base pardon can apply, but the key issue is the language Trump used. Trump's pardon says it applies all other individuals convicted of offenses related to events that occurred at or near the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. Convicted of offenses related to the events. Look, this guy, Trump pardoned him, yo. Trump pardoned the guy. Trump pardoned him. Yeah, hold on. Well, somebody said, fuck Trump. There you go. Boom. Trump pardoned him. Trump pardoned the dude. And it's his own language. And he did that on day one. And doesn't that work out a lot like a lot of Trump shit? That's how they do it. That's how it's been done, actually. People sat back and you would never think that someone would pardon every fucking body, anybody related to the event. Because at the time, you would think like, okay, there would be, this is never really, this shouldn't be normal, right? And so obviously it wouldn't apply to the bomber had they catch them, but no. I mean, if you read that, it applies to him too, especially because of what he has already conveyed to the FBI. I mean, he's the one, he told him what time he was down there. He told him why he was there. He said he was a Trump supporter. He said he believed the election was bad. The election was, that's what he said to the federal government. And they can't deny that he said that. And so you could take this to the Supreme Court, but there's nothing there for the Supreme Court. There's nothing there because there's nothing that outlines that says these people that use weapons can't be pardoned, because a lot of those people down there use weapons and they were pardoned. And again, the bomber didn't hurt anybody. So this is, I think it's pretty much a wrap. I hate to say that, but it's pretty much a wrap. Me, I could sit around and wait for months. If I ain't going on no 6 fucking month ride with waiting for the Supreme Court. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm just going to call it a wrap. And then fuck it. If they surprise me in 6 months and actually say, just something really bad with pardoning Obama. But listen, legally, that would be wrong for them to let him go. Legally, it would be wrong. I mean, according to the law, legally, they would be doing something again against president if they actually, didn't let the pardon stay. Because the bottom line is that Trump said so. Right? I mean, Trump said so. And, what do you do? Can you take it back? Can you change the language after you did it? I mean, is that something you could do? I mean, I don't know, but yeah, this is Trump shit. So let's listen a little bit more. And then there's even more bizarre shit. There's nothing with Trump. It's all bonkers, but this is the worst thing a president could ever do. call people to have a violent insurrection, pardon them all, and even the bomber be like, yeah, I want a pardon too. That's right. He meant me too. You don't know the law? You didn't know he was giving pardons? You didn't know he promised people pardons? And in fact, they were saying that Trump was going to pardon the people anyway. He was saying that before it even happened. Look at this. This man. Let me see something. Were there rumors that Trump would pardon people on Jan 6 before? If I remember correctly, there was rumors going around. Y'all look, see what I'm saying? There were rumors, speculation long before January 6, 2021, that Donald Trump might consider pardons related to election disputes. But let's break it. Seriously, public reporting, media speculation. Late 2020, after 2020 election, multiple news outlets reported that Trump was considering preemptive pardons for allies and advisors who might face prosecution related to the election or related events. For example, New York Times article noted rumors of possible pardons for political allies and law enforcement figures allegedly involved in election challenges. Politico, right? And other outlets discuss preemptive pardons for people tied to election lawsuits, right? Okay, so Trump had already everybody pretty much knew that if you fight for Trump, he's going to pardon you. And this bomber also likely believed that too. He believed it. He already said it. Early January 2021, some reporting suggests that Trump might pardon Jan 6 participants in advance, or at least give clemency to anyone arrested for protest around elections. But these were speculative and unconfirmed. Look, but they were out there, these rumors. I think they was going around on Reddit and places like that. But let's go on. Social media political chatter. Conservatives and pro-Trump circles on platforms like Parler, Gab, and Twitter were speculating weeks in advance that Trump could issue pardons if there was a challenge to the certification of the elections. Some narratives, and I'm going to pull up all the references here. Some narratives even suggested Trump could preemptively pardon rioters or allies before January 6th. I think one of his main boys was the chubby dude with the, gray hair, somewhat, dark gray hair, who was on his first election, what did they call it? Campaign group, whatever. What's his name? The famous podcaster, yo. What's that guy's name? What's his name? He's the guy that interviewed Jeffrey Epstein too. He also that's supposed to come out. What's this dude's name? This guy said, hold on, let me see here. Oh, nah, you can't say death to MAGA Nazis. Don't say death. But listen, come on, watch it now. But Steve Bannon. Yeah, Steve Bannon was talking about this shit, man. He was openly talking about it weeks before Jan 6. Yeah, Trump could pardon the rioters. Who the hell does this? No. It's Steve Bannon. It was Steve Bannon, Miguel. Listen, but who does that? Look at how bold these people are. Like, they just come out, Trump's going to pardon rioters. This was weeks in advance. Listen, this is really serious now. Conservative and pro-Trump circles on platforms like Parler, Gab, and Twitter were speculating weeks in advance that Trump could issue pardons if there was a challenge to the certification of the elections. Some narratives even suggest Trump could preemptively pardon rioters or allies before Jan 6. But mainstream outlets flagged this as unverified speculation. It ain't speculation no more. He pardoned their ass. Shit. Whoever wrote that was right. Had the inside track and shit. Okay, number 3. Legal experts warn law professors and constitutional lawyers caution that preemptive pardons are legal, but only for federal offenses, and they cannot pardon state crimes. Some analysts said that speculation about pardons for Jan 6 participants was legally possible but politically explosive. Say that again. They must have knew something about the pipe bomber already and shit in advance. You see what I'm saying? Look, politically explosive because it could appear as encouraging illegal activity. No shit, Sherlock. Could it appear? And it did. It encouraged illegal activity. And that's exactly what they did. And Trump was there to make sure of it. Go down there and fight or you won't have a country. There were rumors and media speculation before January 6th about potential pardons related to election disputes or protests. No official announcement was made. Nothing was confirmed until Trump actually issued pardons on January 20th. And he issued a blanket pardon. Okay. Most pre-January 6th speculation was general or hypothetical, not concrete. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah, that's just bizarre, you know. But it is what it is. I mean, I would not have imagined that yesterday, I'm sorry, but you have to be like criminal minded to even think stuff up like this, you know, that they would do, you know, because the average American is not used to this much criminal activity coming out of the White House, like flat out. Like, no, you're not. And so you wouldn't expect that he would be able to get away with it and achieve it. That's the thing about it. But yes, he's gotten away with it. And yes, he's achieved it. And this bomber appears to be no different because, I mean, I'm not sure you can do something. What can you do once you write the pardon? Can you take it back? That's a good question. But in any case, let's hear some more about these pardons and then catch up to date.
Nice to see you again. So this is a big one.
He can't say it's the auto pen. He really signed it.
Anything you want to explain about this? We hope they get him. We hope they come out tonight, frankly. They're expecting it. Approximately 1,500 people, six commutations.
Were there any cases you did not commute or pardon people?
We're looking at different things, but the commutations would be the ones that we'll take a look, and maybe it'll stay that way, or it'll go to, full pardon.
And the order does require the Bureau of Prisons to act immediately on receipt of the pardons and commutation orders. Sir, this is an
Why don't we get that down so they can get them going right now?
Yes, sir.
Is that okay?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. This is a proclamation guaranteeing the state's protection against invasion based on the current crisis at the southern border. It invokes various executive powers relating to the ongoing invasion at the southern border.
All right, look, I'm gonna stop this.
President Trump, you heard him.
Now check this out. So he signed that pardon, right? Now check this out. This is oh my God. Yeah, let me pull this back up here. This is so crazy. All right, here's a clear breakdown of why Trump's Jan 6 pardon is considered a blanket pardon, specifically for offenses related to Jan 6, okay? The core language, Trump's proclamation, January 20th, 2025, says, I grant full, complete, and unconditional pardon to all other individuals convicted of offenses. This is the one he signed. So that's why it's a little different from the summary one they put up on the White House, right? I grant a full, complete, and unconditional pardon to all other individuals convicted of offenses related to, no, this is the same one. Okay. Offenses related to events that occurred at or near the United States Capitol on January 6th. Right. All other individuals. But it says convicted of offenses. So what is it? I'm not, what I want to know is how does it cover people that have not yet been identified? Is it just because it's the language here? Let me see something. I grant full, complete, and unconditional pardon to all other individuals convicted of offenses related to. You know what this sounds like this means? They can't convict him. Because if they convict him, this would apply to him. Basically. That's what it sounds like. Yeah. That's what it sounds like. If they convict him, that language applies to him. Look at this language. You tell me. Let me pull it down a little bit. You tell me, does this language pardon him? Put a 1 in the chat if this language pardons him. If you think this language pardons him. Put a 2 in the chat if you think it doesn't. I think it does, by the way. So I'm gonna put a 2 in the chat. Let me see here. Yeah, this is crazy, man. I would have never imagined in my entire lifetime I would be sitting here talking about the fucking president. Did he pardon Obama? You know what I'm saying? Somebody almost killed Kamala Harris. I mean, it's starting to sound like this was maybe attempted murder. Like this is a real plot to kill people. Something happened where this bomb didn't go off for some reason. But I personally feel like, no, this was really, it is just what it is. Like they really intended on hurting people, and this is part of the plot, and they are just sick like this, you know, and, you know, are willing to kill people and willing to threaten people and willing to harm people. And that was the whole intent behind it. And I definitely think it's just part of the same day, same plot, you know, and that these people have a lack of respect for human life, like straight up, you know, spit on democracy, basically. Let me see here. It's sick. It's sick. Let me put a 2 in the chat. How many of y'all think this was think this language here pardons him? Put a 1 in the chat if you think it pardons him. Put a 2 in the chat if you think it doesn't pardon him. Let me see here. Let me try to see how many people. I don't see nobody put 2. Okay, one person put 2. Okay, Friars thinks it doesn't. Okay, what do you think about? Why do you think that, Friars? Let me know. Okay, Friars the only one that thinks it doesn't. To me, I think it does, man. I think this is unfortunate, but the way Trump wrote this is so wide, it is meant to make sure that there's no doubt that anybody connected with this is going to get a pardon. Just that simple. And yeah, you know, but this is I don't even want to normalize this, but this is what it is. And this is the state of the country right now. This president pardoned people that basically wanted to murder American citizens, you know, and it's sad. It's sad. It's sad. Yeah, Bits. Yeah, no doubt. Just come right back. Yeah, it looks bad. As a matter of fact, let me just open up my soda here and take a drink. Look, I mean, my juice. You know, yeah, I would never imagine that I would be living this in a day like this, having this kind of conversation with people. Do me a favor, click the like button too. I know that's so stupid to say right now, but it's part of YouTube and it's part of people, how the system works, the algorithm, and how people come to see the videos. The more people click like, the more people will see the video, obviously, and you know, and come into the conversation. But yeah, this really bothers me. It doesn't kind of bother me. It really bothers me to read this. And but let me go through the rest of this real quick since it's up here. Can y'all see this? Yeah, y'all can see this. All right. So key phrases to make it blanket. All other individuals includes everyone in the defined group. No names required. That's illegal in legal language. That's what that means. Convicted of offenses related to events. Defines the class by the offense type, not by personal identity. And think about it. This guy is cooperating. He's cooperating under the guise that he's going to get a pardon, pretty much. You know, and yeah, the guy believes in Trump, you know. at or near the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. Limits the scope to January 6 events, but still covers any qualifying offenses, whether known or unknown. What makes it blanket? A blanket pardon is any pardon that applies to a group of people rather than an individual's listed name. So he listed names, but then he said, and any other, or, and and he went on to qualify what those others would be. 2 is defined by the category of offense, location, or date. Yeah, he falls into that. Yeah. And when you hear his plan, it's like, that's going to be, listen, his defense lawyer's job is to get him the pardon. And Trump's job is to get him the pardon too. apparently, damn. And it just so happens that what can you say? You're going to have to go there and argue away everyone else's pardon. Like, what the hell? You're going to have to be like, no, but it's just almost I don't see the way out of this shit. I don't see it. There's no argument that could be made. The guy didn't hit a police officer upside the head. He didn't hurt anybody. And the people that did hurt the police got a pardon. So what else is there to it? It's just very difficult to. Now, if the bomb went off, maybe that will put them in a worse situation. But in this case, you never know what this guy's going to say. You're never going to know what he's going to say. Maybe he say, yeah, I decided not to do it at the last minute. Going to give him a pardon then? I don't know. I mean, but when you write pardons this big, you have to question, like, why he wrote it this big to basically get off anybody. I mean, does this cover anybody down there with a gun? Yes. Even if the gun was illegal? Yes. Yeah. Does it pardon if you broke a officer's nose? Yeah. What if you broke his bones, broke his leg and his arms? Yeah. It covers that. It covers all that stuff that happened to them. That was the intent of the pardon. It defined a category of offense, a location or date. Can include people not yet convicted, not yet identified, or not yet charged if the wording is broad enough. I mean, but it seemed like it was. It was. Trump's Jan 6 pardon meets all 3 criteria. Group defined by offense type and location, date, not personal identity. Covers any qualifying federal offense. Not just those previously listed or prosecuted. Yeah. No individual names are required, so unknown or future convictions could theoretically be covered. So, I mean, they have the contrary argument. I mean, just to say what the limitations might be, ambiguity, right? That could be a limitation. Even though it's a blanket for January 6 offenses, it only covers federal crimes, not state crimes. But D.C. ain't prosecute him. D.C.'s not even a state. Yeah. I mean, it's federal land. Everybody goes to the feds in D.C. So, you know what I'm saying? When you get locked up of federal of offenses, drug dealing, shooting people, anything like that, you go to the feds. It only applies to offenses related to events at or near the Capitol. So crimes outside of that, January 5th pipe bombing, DNC, RNC offices are probably not covered. So let's see here. How far? Let's go to the map now. How far is the DNC from the Capitol? Let's see here. DNC. Here we go. It's on South Capitol Street. I mean, it's right down the street from the Capitol. The street is on. It's called South Capitol. So let's see here. Let's go to it. Let's go to the address. Anybody been here before? I've been here once, actually. Let me see. Let me get my drink. Can y'all see this? This is the Capitol right here. That's the Capitol. This little thing right here with the green on two sides. One right here and one right here. Right here, right up here. Y'all see it. Y'all see where I'm touching it, right? And this is the DNC right down the street. The DNC is 1, 2, 3 blocks away. Let me make it bigger. Can y'all see it now better? The Capitol is the thing close to my image right here, close to my arm, right? And the DNC is just at the bottom of the image with the red prick, where the red prick is at. Yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3 blocks away. Yeah. I mean, I don't know really. I don't think they have I don't think you can stop this because, you know, look, this is the House of Representatives right here to the left. This is the Cannon House office building, right? To the right. So one is the Rayburn and one is the Cannon building, right? You got Congress and the Senate, basically. So let's see here. And then you got Capitol South Station, right? I mean, to the right, you got what? What is this right here again? Yeah, Capitol. Hold on. What is this? The Library of Congress? No, not Library of Congress. That's over here. Library of Congress is here. But what is this right here? This is the this is where you register like your damn, what did they call it? You register different things for copyrights and not just copyrights, with patents and stuff like that here, right? So on C Street, right? And it, you know, yeah, maybe they got an argument. Maybe they got an argument there. It's not near the grounds. It's not on the Capitol grounds. Okay, but there's no way in hell you're not going to be including the Rayburn building and the Cannon House all into that because, you know, to me, I'm just curious, like, what federal buildings, are there any more federal, like, look at this. This is the Republican National Committee right here. You see? And this is the DNC. So, right. And this is the Library of Congress. Let me see. Right. And the Library of Congress. And then this is, damn, what building is this right here? I forget what building this is right here. Okay, and this is the Supreme Court right here. Well, in any case, that's the DNC. But what y'all think? I mean, do you think that meets the criteria? Do you think that meets the criteria that, you know, is that off of it? So let's go back to this one. Okay, let's see here. Limitations covers federal crimes and state. Okay. Only applies to events at or near the Capitol, but that's near the Capitol, and that's the language. So, is that near the Capitol? What do y'all think? Put a 1 in the chat if that's near the Capitol. If put a 2 in the chat if it's not. But I'm sorry, this is goddamn near the Capitol. This is near the Capitol. It's not. I can't make this. I mean, it's pretty obvious that this is near the Capitol. It's pretty obvious. I mean, look, is you know, the Senate building near the Capitol? The Senate building is over here. That's on C Street. Second is C. You see what I mean? Between first and second is C. That's the Senate. Upper Senate Park. I mean, I think that's near. I'm sorry. I think that's near. And yeah, it's near the Capitol. I don't know what else I mean, I don't get it. But I mean, because the Capitol grounds would be what? All of this right here, this little square, Constitution Avenue, you know, and then come down, what is that, First Street with the Supreme Court, right? Then left on Independence, right? And then right, and then right again behind here, behind the pool, right? So to me, that's the grounds, and this is near the grounds. You know, the Capitol starts right here. The Capitol grounds starts right here on Independence. So yeah, I mean near. What are you going to say? 2 blocks is not near. 1, 2, 3. So 3 blocks is not near. I mean, yeah, that's going to be difficult, I think, to argue against that. That's not near. Okay, a phrase related to is ambiguous. Courts could interpret it narrowly, right? Okay, so let's see here. Related to. Okay, so where does it say related to? Well, oh yeah, we know what that is. Related to. It's related to the January 6th. It is because the dude said it. He was pissed off about the election, so that's related to it. It's just simple. He came on the 5th, laid the bombs to explode them later, which would have been the 6th. Okay, blanket nature comes from all other individuals. Offenses related to events. Scope is limited by time. 6, located capital nearby. Federal jurisdiction. Yeah, and federal jurisdiction. Damn. So that yeah. Anyone outside that scope is not automatically yeah, because near anyone outside of that is not automatically paroled, even if they were involved in Jan 6 planning or adjacent activities. Okay. So damn, it's gonna come down to near. Yeah. I guess it is. But yeah, so let's go on. Now let me hear, there's been some argumentation about this. So let me see here. Trump says, now we're going to watch one more clip of Trump where he says he's going to pardon them, and then hear the argumentation that's out there right now about this by experts, some legal experts.
Mr. President, I would love to ask you about January 6th. You've called yourself the candidate of law and order. Yeah. When Time Magazine asked you if you would consider pardoning all the rioters, you said, yes, absolutely. Sure. You called them patriots. 140 police officers were assaulted that day. Their injuries included broken bones. At least one officer lost an eye. One had 2 cracked ribs, 2 smashed spinal discs. Another had a stroke. Were the people who assaulted those 140 officers, including those I just mentioned, patriots who deserve pardons?
Well, let me bring it back to modern day. Like about 5 days ago, we had an attack on the Capitol. Horrible attack on the Capitol. You saw the people that were protesting and spraying these incredible monuments, bells, lions, all these magnificent limestone and granite with red paint, red spray paint that will never actually come off, especially on the limestone. It will never, I'm a builder, I know about this stuff. It'll never, you'll see it in 100 years from now. They viciously attacked our government. They fought with police. They fought with them much more openly than I saw on January 6th. What's going to happen to those people? What's going to happen to the people in Portland that destroyed that city?
But sir, my question is on those.
What's going to happen to the people that tried to burn
rioters who assaulted officers.
You have to
would you pardon
what's
those
going to
people?
happen? Oh, absolutely, I would.
You would pardon those?
If they're innocent, I would pardon them.
They've been convicted.
And by the way, the Supreme Court just well, they were convicted by a very tough system. They were. How come the people that tried to burn down Minneapolis? How come the people that took over a large percentage of Seattle, how come nothing happened to them? How come the people
But sir, we're talking about people that were seen beating officers with flagpoles.
You know, and that's so interesting because MAGA, they don't even want to know if anything happened to those people, to any of those people, because people did get prosecuted, you know. And but yet he still goes out there and just says, how come nothing happened to them? Because MAGA people always assume nothing happened. They never bother to check if anything happened to anybody. You see what I mean? And yeah, they just like to say stuff like that. But rarely is it true, you know, as you could obviously see, right?
Dragging them down the stairs. They're on video. Have you seen that video, sir?
Oh, really? Well,
you would pardon those rioters?
They shot a young lady in the face who was protesting. They shot her in the face. You know, nobody died that day. You do know that. But people died in Seattle. Nobody died, but people died in Minneapolis. You know people died in Minneapolis. And nothing happens, and nobody ever talks, and nothing happens to those people. But you went after the J6 people with a vengeance. And I'll tell you what, what about the cops that were, and I'm all for the police, as you know, but what about the police that are ushering everybody into the Capitol? Go in, go in, go in. What about that? Look, nothing is.
He said police were ushering them into the Capitol.
Nothing is perfect.
I mean, that's the thing about Trump. He always goes the extra mile to try to, you know, to help, you know, to put himself clearly in it, so you know that he is actually wants you to go, you know, and take his side. Like, he goes so crazy, he just make up some shit. And police were actually ushering them into, you know. It's like, no, they weren't ushering them. Getting knocked upside your head with a hockey stick is not ushering people in. You know, once you have to knock some people upside the head, bang an officer's head in the door, you know, kick glass in, that's not being ushered in. Okay, you're forcing your way
in life. But you have people from Minneapolis, you have people just from 5 days ago in Washington, D.C. They were having fistfights and fighting with the police. They were spraying and destroying, they were desecrating our monuments in Washington, D.C. 5 days ago, and nothing happened to them. And you can't have two systems of justice. That's why they went after me as a political opponent, because they felt they couldn't win without doing that. And we're going to win our cases, and we're going to be vindicated. But I have to spend a lot of time on that, and money. That's what they want. After the election, they won't care. Although in my case, I think they probably will, because the hatred is pretty deep. But I'll tell you, they went after me as a political opponent. That's never happened in our country before, and it sets a terrible, terrible precedent.
Voice is simply faster, more natural, and more flexible.
Yeah. You know, this is ridiculous, you know, but yeah, this is ridiculous. But in any case, let's go to the argumentation.
Danny Savalos is an NBC legal analyst and sometimes guest host for me on this program. Hey, Danny, thank you for allowing me.
Okay, so this is Michael Smerkanish. Anybody, you know, for people that don't know him, he's actually been featured in a few different legacy media channels. But in any case, let's hear it.
Your day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Smerkanish, 855-486-1776.
Hey now.
But first.
All right.
Yeah, he's on MSNBC.
Here's the deal.
And NBC also.
Here's the deal. So Robert Pape he is an expert on political violence. He's at the University of Chicago, and for 3 decades he has studied political violence. So they make an arrest in the Virginia case last night. Of course, I reach out for Robert Pape, have him on the program. Does this guy fit the prototype? I'm speaking to him a moment ago, Danny, about a report that he issued, having looked at the prosecutorial files of all 1,576 J6ers, 100,000 pages he and his colleagues combed through to find out, you know, what you can summarize about each of them, yada, yada, yada. I say to myself, yeah, and they all got a pardon. And then I went and I pulled the pardon that they were offered on January 20th by President Trump. And I get to the language and I say to myself, wait a minute, if I'm Danny Savalos, if I'm a defense lawyer for the guy who was arrested in Virginia, will I have a colorable argument that this pardon applies to my client? What's your reaction?
You know, Michael, it's times like this that I realize I will never be more than a fair to middling criminal defense attorney, because when I first heard this idea from you this morning, I thought this could actually work. Now, if I were a Mark Garagos or a Chuck Peruto, I would be very confident that this pardon covers my client. But, you know, I got to tell you, I've read the pardon, and in the last hour or so, my opinion has changed. And without getting, I'll try to summarize it as best I can, but I think the most important limiting factor of the language of the pardon. Here's what's so interesting about pardons, Michael. They are one of the broadest presidential powers, one of the most unshackled, unfettered presidential powers. And one of the most significant about it, to me, is that there are no takebacks. So powerful it is that once issued, the same president cannot take it back. So I think that's what makes the language of the pardon so critical. And when I look at the pardon, I'll give you my broad stroke summary, which is that the pardon seems to apply to those then extant, those then existing, those then pending prosecutions. And because this is not a prosecution that was happening at that time, I don't think it would be covered. And by the way, the president has the power to pardon.
Do me a favor. Click the like button, y'all. Do me a favor, because that helps the algorithm go out to people. Thank you.
Those then pending prosecutions.
So he doesn't think that it covers more. Okay.
And because this is not a prosecution that was happening at that time, I don't think it would be covered. And by the way, the president has the power to pardon for crimes that have not yet even been prosecuted. Had he worded this pardon as, I pardon everybody who has or has not yet been prosecuted in connection with January 6th, we'd be having a different discussion. But the language of the pardon in its entirety either applies to specifically identified individuals or people whose prosecutions have either concluded with a conviction or are then pending. And by then, I think a court would say then means January 20, 2025, not December of 2025 or off into the future. And by the way, again, it's something the president could have done in the language of that pardon. And had he done it, he would be unable to take it back now if he saw that it was applying to someone that he didn't think was worthy of that pardon.
Okay, so he said he changed his mind. So that means now he thinks that it's not good enough, the language, and I guess before he thought it was. All right, let's see.
Grant a full, complete, and unconditional pardon to all other individuals convicted of offenses related to the events that occurred at or near the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. Does the fact that, notwithstanding what you've just said, does the fact that this guy's bad behavior alleged took place on the 5th matter in this analysis?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, if I'm the defense attorney, this is my most problematic paragraph that you just read, and it comes to those two parts. Number one, the word convicted. Does the word convicted mean convicted as of today, or does it mean convicted forever and ever, amen, into the future to infinity? And then part two is, was the crime on January 6, 2021? If I'm the defense attorney, I'm saying, well, yes, it is. It carried over into that day. It was intended. It certainly spilled over into that day. It was affected. He's at or near the Capitol. I would make that argument. However, I can see a court rejecting it. I think that even if he intended for it to have its effect the next day, I don't know that that carries the day for this defense.
I'll tell you what I would want to know. I would go back to Robert Pape and I would say, you studied all 1,576 prosecutions. Was there anyone at all? This is what you'd be doing, Danny. You'd be combing all 1,500 plus files and looking for that one case where someone was prosecuted for something, if this case exists, that they did on the 5th or the 4th or the 3rd in anticipation of the violence. If you could find that kind of a case where somebody was pardoned, that would be your ticket.
Okay. So do they have a case like that? Let's see here. Hold on. Let's go. Do they have a case like that? Let me see. Maybe they do. Hold on. Maybe they do.
It might be, but Michael, I'm still troubled by the word convicted.
Yeah.
Full, complete, unconditional pardon to all of the other individuals convicted. Does that mean convicted as of January 20, 2025, or does it mean forever and ever after? And just to give you a quick example that I know you're very familiar with, I don't have the Jimmy Carter pardon in front of me, but I believe that pardon was of the kind that I'm talking about. Anyone who was a draft dodger, anyone out there, whether or not they were prosecuted. I could be wrong, but that would be an example of how this would be a no-brainer. But that language, the conviction, that's the issue for me as well as
well, okay, but I think what I would do if I were you is that maybe then you're not asserting this until your client is convicted. And now when he gets convicted in 2 years for being the pipe bomber from Virginia.
Exactly. Then he would be convicted at that point. Exactly.
Yeah, now you say, well, all right, he was convicted. Now that he's been convicted, now you owe him a pardon. Maybe it's a timing thing. Maybe it's not right.
Exactly right. And in fact, what I might do if I took that theory, I would argue that you could make that motion today. And I would argue to the judge, yes, I know he's not yet convicted. However, under the laws of the universe and logic, if
once he's convicted, he will be convicted.
he is convicted, if this ends in a conviction, the end result is going to be the same. So why not litigate it now to avoid the waste of judicial resources that a trial would bring? If you determine this as a kind of immunity now, and while, someone out there might be saying immunity, that's kind of a stretch. Well,
it's going to actually, there's another element to this too. I mean, not that it would bother MAGA people at all, even though now they seem to have reformed instantly since now this guy's been caught. Now all the MAGA people are against violence now suddenly. They're like, oh, he tried to bomb up the place. Oh, no, you can't commit violence, political violence. All the MAGA people switch to peaceful. They loving hippies now, the MAGA people and shit. You know what I'm saying? Now that they caught the bomber, they don't want to have nothing to do with him. And now they're like... Now they're promoting love and peace and shit. Go about it the right way, man. This is democracy. This is the MAGA people today. But in any case, this is crazy. This dude, it's Trump's own language. That's the problem. It's his legal team's own language. And once he is convicted, you got a problem. Because, again, how can you speak for the president? What are you going to do? Call the president in and ask him what he thinks? They would have to call him in to ask him, what did he mean? You can't. Look, it's him who signed the damn thing. He knows what he means. So somebody obviously is going to have to come and speak on that, because how can you, the language is written so broadly. Yeah, you could argue against it, but when the guy is right down the street who signed it, he is the one that's supposed to know exactly what that language means and the intent of it, right? But here's the thing. Isn't it going to look weird if they pardon all those people and they didn't pardon this guy? Wouldn't that look weird? Like, why wouldn't they? That's what I don't understand, because what's the issue here? What is the issue? They already pardoned people. Look, hold on. Let me pull up the list just to be clear, because I know it's hard for everybody to remember all the time, and that's fair enough. And some people do remember, some people don't, though. Let's see here. What crimes were committed during the Jan 6 riot that people were convicted of, right? Let's see here, just to be clear about it. Here we go. Now, it says during the January 6, 2021 Capitol riots, hundreds of participants were charged with a wide range of federal crimes, right? These aren't little peaceful crimes here, and many have been convicted, okay? So, let's see here. Can I make this bigger just for everybody to see? Oh, it's got to be that big? Okay. Can y'all see this? Can you all see this on the screen? Let me see if I can make it fit a little bit better here. Okay, hopefully you all can see this. Boom. Right? So, here we go. Unlawful entry, entering Capitol grounds or restricted areas without permission, right? What else? Disorderly conduct, obstruction of official proceedings, interfering with Congress while it was certifying the electoral vote. Okay, now then there's violent entry, assault on law enforcement, physically attacking officers with fists, weapons, and projectiles. It includes assaulting officers with chemical sprays, flagpoles, and sticks, carrying dangerous weapons, firearms offenses, bringing guns, knives, pepper spray, batons, etc. I mean, so you mean a bomb doesn't belong in this group either? Bringing guns, knives, pepper spray. So you couldn't just put bombs right here next to it. Some individuals, let's see here. Some individuals carried guns or improvised weapons. Right. Okay. Now, conspiracy, seditious conspiracy. Coordinated. So for all you people that there was people out there, they weren't charged with insurrection. They were charged with conspiracy, seditious conspiracy. Okay. That's not good. That's not a good thing. coordinated efforts to stop or delay the certification of the election. Did you know you tried to stop the certification of an election? You tried to stop democracy. You tried to stop the people's vote. Okay. This is sick. Major convictions for groups like the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys. Okay, fuck them both. Destruction of government property. Okay, they destroyed government property. Okay, that's taxpayer dollars. Vandalizing offices, breaking windows, and stealing shit. Bunch of fucking thieves. Okay, petty ass thieves too, and proud of it. Proud. So you were being patriotic while you were vandalizing the office and breaking windows and stealing items. You were being patriotic while you were trying to delay the certification of the election. You brought guns, knives, and pepper spray to be patriotic. Okay? Includes graffiti, broken doors, stolen computers. Okay. Now, obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, destroying evidence, or misleading investigators. That was being patriotic to you maggots. Some people try to delete social media posts or destroy. Okay. Threats or intimidation, right? Threatening lawmakers, police officers, staff. I mean, these just some goddamn criminals. You see what I'm saying? This is what they were doing. Don't bombs go right along in there? Included verbal threats and intimidating gestures. Yeah, we know. Examples of high-profile convictions. Okay, so sentence for obstruction of conduct. No. But you get it. Oath Keepers, Stewart Rhodes, seditious conspiracy for coordinating. So he coordinated. So I'm curious who could have talked to this guy. I mean, to me, again, I said this earlier on when I first started the stream, that it also seems very suspicious that this guy made that bomb. He went through all that detail to make that bomb, but took no effort in trying to cover his tracks. Like, how do you make a bomb, but you buy all the parts in a way where you can be traced? Why? And then you drive your car down to the place? Like, to me, that just seems so strange. That seems so strange. It's almost like saying, I want to be caught. You know, I want to go through all of this work to make these bombs, but I want to be caught. So I'm going to make sure when I buy the things, it's easily traceable. I mean, that driving your car down, he drove his car to that area. You know, he drove his car to the area not far away. Now, let me see. Where did he drive his car to? Where did the pipe bomber drive his car to and park it? Let me see here. I want to see what block that is. Where did he park that damn thing? Let me see here. It said investigators. Okay. He drove a 2017 Nissan Sentra. License plate read. Okay, it was captured by a license plate reader about 7:10 at South Capitol Street exit of the interstate. So he came over 395 and got right off there. Boom, of course. That location is less than a half a mile from where, from where the surveillance footage showed the pipe bomb suspect on foot. Okay. But based on cell phone tower data linked to Cole's phone, investigators placed him on foot between 7:39 p.m. and 8:24 p.m. near the area of the two bomb placements at the headquarters of the Republican National Committee. And listen, y'all, here's another thing. He placed the bomb at the headquarters of the Republican National Committee. That's where all of the Republicans do their business. That's where they do their business. That's where they make their commercials. That's where they have their offices. That's where they do their politicking, their party politicking, right? And the same thing with the DNC. That's why they're so close to the Capitol, because people roll through there, congressional members, senators, the elected officials that are Republicans, and the party heads all meet there. That's where they all meet, and link up, and that's their center. So All their business is done at the Capitol. These people, these congressional members, right? So I just don't see why that wouldn't be considered, part of their business. Let's go back over here. Like here, we talking about right here, right? Right here, and then where's the RNC at? The RNC is around here. Where is it at? This is the Democratic National Convention, National Party headquarters, right? This is the Capitol. This is the Hart Building, the Senate, right? Congress is over here, right? Oh, hold on. Sorry, that's over here, right? Right here, right? No, that's the Botanic Gardens. Damn, where are my glasses at? Well, in any case, you get the idea. It's all right around here, right here. Now, but where is the damn Republican? The Republican one was where was it? Should I say RNC up here? Maybe I should do that. Let's see here. Okay, let's say Republican. Right. So that's right here. So let's see here. Let's blow this up. Oh, there it is right there. I see it. Okay, it's right over here. So it's right across from the Capitol. It's even closer. So let's see here. The Capitol's there. There it is. All right. So it's south. Okay. Yeah. There it is. There it is now. I see it. Okay. So here we go. This is the Republican National Party headquarters. Come on. What is this? Then this. That's right here. Okay. Now I got it. All right. And then the Democratic one is right here. Why is that closed off now? Can't see it so easily. Right, Republican, and then the DNC is over here to the left. Boom, there it is. All right, exactly. So they're all in proximity, but to me it just sounds like it almost sounds like if they can argue that he wasn't, but that's going to go down in some weird kind of history. I think if he's not included in the pardons, not that I want him to be, but I mean, in a way, I mean, it's kind of to me it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense that he wouldn't be in the pardons. It wouldn't make sense. And of course, MAGA in some kind of way, they bring a lot of racial elements to situations. They seem to be triggered by things like DEI, equality, the idea of reparative justice, right? They seem to have a problem with that, and given the history of the United States of America, it seems to trigger them in a way. Like they always feel like, you're pointing at their whiteness instead of them understanding that, no, you're pointing at injustice, and that's very different. You see what I mean? Injustice is a broad range of things. It's not as simple as trying to blame people for being white. It's trying to get justice for people that were done wrong in the country. And, and because a lot of times that has something to do with racial discrimination being law in the United States of America for a long period of time, they take offense to that, which doesn't make sense unless you feel like you're guilty yourself. I mean, I don't understand why it hits people that way, because you understand women didn't have the right to vote. Wouldn't you want reparative justice for women? Wouldn't you want reparative justice for anybody, for any reason? Wouldn't you want that? Oh, I mean, but to me, it seems like to me, it just seems like it would be painfully obvious. It would go down in history that it's okay. Yeah. And for sometimes some people and some, but then for others, it's not. It seems like it would kind of go down like that if they didn't include it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even. And also, I think it would tell you straight up. It would tell a lot of you black MAGA people, listen, it would tell them very clear. The black people that thought this election was rigged, believed in Donald Trump, right? Went out there and fought like hell, like Donald Trump said, or you ain't going to have a country. It's sending a clear message to you. Don't ever be so stupid ever fucking again in your life. Because you are not going to get that goddamn pardon. Okay? Like, just don't do it again. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't stop capping for Trump. There are like a small percentage. There's a percentage of black people that's still capping for his ass, yo. What's up? You going to get a pardon? You going to get that pardon? Huh? Nope. Ain't going to get that pardon. And this guy went far out of his way. He just was like, bust me. I'm going to buy the bomb parts. I'm going to buy the bomb parts with my card, with my credit card. I'm going to drive my car, God damn it, my Toyota, right down there to D.C. I'm going to get off at 395 and pull right up to the Capitol. And I'm going to plant those bombs. And by golly, Trump is going to give me a pardon. Hell no. You got played, dude. Like, you got played. You listened to Trump and you got played. Like, on national TV, you got played on global TV, international. This guy is going to be the poster child for foolish Trump people. And he's black. I mean, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? All I can say is better him than me, because I wouldn't fucking do it. I'm going to tell you that right now. I would never risk my life for fucking Donald J. Trump. Never in a lifetime. And if you other people want to risk your life doing that shit, go right a fucking head. Okay? I'm not doing it. Okay? You know, and a lot of these people were losers anyway. I mean, come on, man. How do you get a pardon and then end up back in jail? Look at this shit. How do you get a pardon and then instantly just end up back in fucking jail? Like, what's up with this? How many of the Jan 6 rioters that got pardons ended up in jail again or committed more crimes after? You know, it's like, damn, you wasted your. I mean, he pardoned some people he should have never even wasted his goddamn time on, because they were like, fuck this, I'm going to do another crime. Good question. There are documented cases of people pardoned by Donald J. Trump for January 6 United States Capitol attack related crimes who have later been rearrested, charged, or convicted of new crimes. But it's not possible with publicly available data to give credible estimates of how many of all pardoned rioters ended up back in jail. Damn, is that many? It should only be a couple. It should only be one. Or reoffending because, one, the total pool is very large. God damn. It's too many to fucking count. Okay? That's fucked up. In the computer era, it's like, what the hell? It's way too many other. They probably all ended up back in jail. Look, the investigations are ongoing still. That is terrible. Or 3, not all the arrests are publicized. Okay, yeah, we know. Some of that shit is real bad. All right. Okay, let's see here. According to the recent report from Citizens and Responsibility and Ethics in Washington crew, at least 10 individuals pardoned for Trump's January 6 related convictions have been rearrested or charged with new, often serious crimes. Serious crimes? Do tell. Okay. Examples include one pardoned rioter was reported convicted after the pardon for a fatal DUI. You mean he couldn't keep the liquor out of his bloodstream while he was driving and had a fatal crash? Goddamn. Waste of a pardon. But this is who Donald J. Trump pardons, yo. Another was arrested on illegal gun possession charges soon after. I mean, because this guy didn't just get a DUI. He crashed. I had a fatal crash. This is not just a DUI. You know, you can get a DUI just for having too much liquor in your body. That doesn't mean you're driving bad. This dude had a fatal fucking crash. Donald Trump tried to give him a chance. He blew it. Another was arrested on illegal gun possession. I mean, not surprised. A lot of them do this stuff. I mean, some of them had criminal backgrounds before they even went down there, you know? All right, so another was arrested for illegal gun possession charges after the pardon despite being a felon. So you a felon and you go to January 6th, get pardoned, and you go do some more felony shit. Okay, despite being a felon prior to Jan 6, charges, damn, illegal. A third was charged with solicitation of a minor. Oh, shit. A crime unrelated to January 6, but alleged to predate the riot. So there were goddamn pedos down there with their maggots. MAGA pedos. Others reportedly why am I even shocked? Others reportedly face charges ranging from burglary. This is some shit. Burglary, theft of what the fuck are you complaining about? You're a goddamn burglar and you complaining about the fucking election? What the fuck? Look, picture that. Burglar complaining about the election being stolen. What the fuck? You got some nerve. You tried to burglarize the fucking election and shit itself. Okay. Others reported this is some shit. Burglary, theft to violent offenses. Okay. They got all kinds of shit. Burglary, theft. Oh my God. News outlets have reported that among roughly 1,500 people pardoned, some subset is already back behind bars for new offenses. Why we can't compute? Damn, that's terrible when your computer can't compute how many. Why we can't compute a full rate of recidivism? Is that it? Recidivism. Large denominator known. Follow up. The pardon covers 1,500 people, tracking every one of them. Oh man, get the hell out of here. AI is lazy as hell. All right, so let's see here. Among at least 1,500 pardoned individuals, at least 10 to 20 have been publicly documented to reoffend or be rearrested. Okay, that yields a minimum public rearrest rate of roughly 2%. Okay, if you like, I can pull the list of publicly known. Yeah, pull everything you got. Pull everything you can find on them. Yes. Let's see here. Yeah, I think it's probably more like 20, but let's see here. 20. Okay. Oops. Close that. Okay. Damn, this is a list of names. What? Okay, here go the names. Andrew Tack, right? Edward Kelly. Okay. Emily Hernandez, Daniel Ball. He threw an explosive device at an officer on January 6th. So he had a little bomb. He threw a little bomb. Damn, that's deep. Okay, Emily entered a restricted grounds building on Jan 6. Okay, Edward Kelly, one of the earliest rioters to breach the Capitol. Okay, Andrew Tock participated. Okay, he assaulted officers with pepper spray and a metal whip. God damn. I mean, what if the punishment was not pardon, but it was just, you have to have the same weapons used on you publicly? Wouldn't that be some shit? That would be cool, I think. Okay, Daniel, in this case, because these are treasonous, you know what I'm saying? It may as well be public. A metal whip. Yeah, a metal whip. Like, I guess it's like a chain, right? He's down there whipping people with a motherfucking metal chain, yo. Like, seriously, like, damn, they were out there torturing people. David Daniel pleaded guilty, charges resisting police, okay? You can be shot for that and killed. Shane Jason Woods, January 6th, assaulted police and a press photographer. He was pardoned. Theodore Mittendorf pleaded guilty. Context for property destruction, pardon. Okay. Taylor Toronto, convicted of weapons, firearms related. Okay, what did he do with them damn weapons? Let me see here. What did he do with the weapons? Does it say? Okay, it doesn't really say. So let's just go back here. Right, here we go. Does it say? It said arrested in 2023 for illegal gun possession, making a bomb threat. Again, a bomb. You see, so come on, this is not unrelated. You see what I mean? They hang out with people that's talking about making bombs all the fucking time. Here's one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. Here it is. Making bomb threats. Well, doesn't sound strange to me. Brent John Holdry. Damn, well, that's a hell of a name. John 6 pleaded guilty to demonstrating, entering restricted building. Okay. Let's see here. He was arrested for burglary, grand theft. Damn, GTA, yo. Burglary, grand theft, possession of stolen industrial copper wire. What is this, man? What did he do? Break into a metal? What is this? Stealing copper and shit? What the fuck? Damn, they do. They just, you know what they are? They are called opportunity criminals. They just stumble on the shit. Fuck it, I'll take that. Let's do this crime tonight. It's just any kind of crime is good. These people wreak havoc on your town. They should have never, and they were invited into DC. People in DC don't even be doing this shit. Stealing copper. Stealing copper off people's houses and shit. Get up to the chimney. Take the copper. Okay. Sentenced to 8 years for violent Jan 6 participation. Okay. Zachary Elam, arrested May 2025 for home invasion and theft. Damn, Jeffrey. It's another one of Donald Trump's pardoned buddies. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's go listen to some more of this and see what they got to say now. Let's go back to
the pardon power is incredibly, incredibly broad. And you can pardon prosecutions in the future before they've happened. The only limitation is that you cannot pardon future crime. And by the way, that might be the argument if this had happened on January 7th. I think that would be a different argument, because that is, in essence, a kind of future crime. But you as long as the conduct has happened...
That's crazy, because this is not even a future crime. This was a crime that was just hours before. Like, it's related, but it's not future. That's so... Yeah, they can't make that. Prosecution can't make that argument that is a future crime because it ain't. It's not a future crime.
Can pardon it. So yes, I think you're on to something there. I would not only make that argument after convicted, I would try to make it now and say, Judge,
yeah, I get it.
We're going to have the same argument in 2 years, or we're going to have it now.
Okay, Danny, you're not talking me off this ledge. I'm not saying that the guy's got a strong defense in all of this, but if I were Danny Savalos,
I'd try it.
I'd be trying it. I'd be trying it for no other reason than to embarrass the fact that I'm getting prosecuted, but the guy with the horns who broke into the Capitol and so forth, like he gets off. How do you? This is not a legal question. I'm just going to float this out, and if you want to respond to it, you may or not. But how do you justify that the guys who breached the Capitol somehow are deserving of a pardon, but the guy who set the pipe bombs, but not him? Okay, where's that line? Like, why is...
I'm so happy I'm not the only person wondering that. Like, I don't get it. You got guys down there beating people with chains. You got people down there. They had a dude throw a bomb at a police officer, right? An explosive. You got all kinds of people with guns down there. And then they trying to say, no, but we stop at bombs. But then again, a lot of these people, one of the dudes that was pardoned issued a bomb threat later. I mean, come on, you have to be, basically you got to be capping. You have to be lying. You have to be lying. I mean, there's nothing unusual about these people and a motherfucking pipe bomb. In fact, pipe bombs are right up their alley. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. That is straight up these type of people's alley. I'm not trying to, yeah. They're these kind of folks. They into that shit. You know what I'm saying? They're into it. Most city folk, I'm not, we just like to have guns. We're not gonna fucking, use a pipe bomb just to indiscriminately fucking kill all kinds of people. But there tend to be some weirdos in the United States of America that just like maiming innocent fucking people. Like, what is it? Like, it's something among that. And this guy's he's from where? Virginia somewhere? I mean, he's not a city dude, but that is, first of all, listen, y'all, that is never fucking cool. That is never fucking cool. A pipe bomb makes you a really fucked up person. That makes you a really fucked up person because you don't care who you kill. You know what I'm saying? But then again, you heard motherfuckers are already giving bomb threats. I mean, these people, you can inflict the same type of fucked up death with a gun. I mean, look at how many of these people go out there and just shoot up a bunch of innocent people. Mass shooting. Oh, well, why did he do it? Why did little Johnny do it? Why did he do it? Where's he from? Dude dragged dude out with a bowl haircut and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, why did he do it? He was only 18. It's like, what the hell? Go to the movie theater, shoot up a bunch of people one day. I don't know. I'm tired of somebody. It's like, what's going on with these fucking people? They're literally into killing innocent fucking people. But yeah. And you can't tell me these MAGA people ain't into killing innocent fucking people. You can't tell me that they not. They didn't have a problem knocking any of those police officers upside the fucking head. You see what I mean? They didn't have no problem with that. So they didn't care who those police officers were, that they had to go home to their families. They didn't care if they had children. They didn't care if they had wives or mothers or anything like that. They didn't care if they were even Republican. They didn't care. They were like, fuck the police. Fuck all of you. And that's how they carried that shit out. And they assaulted hundreds of them, thinking that they're better than them, and then Trump goes along and pardons them. You see what I mean? Like, that shit is just, I'm sorry. I will never believe that this is just not right up the alley, and to that degree, maybe I'm prejudiced, but hey, fuck it. That's one of my things. I don't believe I've seen too many people get bombed by these type of folks that they like using their weapons to try to force their politic on people and shit like that. Like, I've seen too much of that in my life. You know what I'm saying? And it does come down to, they often try to use force to scare people, violence to scare people, and I ain't with it. And of course, it's not always the people you might suspect it is, of course. I mean, some people think that it can't be a black one. Look, there was 20 guys, 20% of black men voted for Trump. So I know there's some weirdos out there like that. You know what I'm saying? That are also that color. You know, flat out. You know what I'm saying? You know that they are. But, you know, that's not what that's not what a lot of people would have thought. I mean, people weren't thinking that. People were not thinking that. And let's be honest, the guy that took a shot at Trump, a bullet, white dude. Guy that took a shot at Charlie Kirk, white dude. I mean, you wouldn't expect that the pipe bomber was a black guy. You wouldn't expect that, but he is, and you just have to accept that it is. And I don't think it's not that, to me, it's not that big of a deal. It is a surprise, but it's just also like, okay, well, yeah, you have some of these people that are this color and, you know, from this background that are just as heinous, you know, as the other ones, the rest of them, you know, just as heinous. Because when you get around to doing these kind of things, you're kind of just a violent person. I don't know. Again, I don't want to say too much because I don't know if this guy, like, what's up with it? Is something not right? Is something wrong with his head? Like, how do you go and buy all those bomb parts and yet you don't fucking know you can be tracked like that? Like, you don't know that? That's the part that makes me wonder, like, what type of bomber is this? Because plenty of people get away with bombing, with pipe bombs, and they don't find all that goddamn evidence. Let me see something here. Let me just look this up. How much? How he bought his supplies and how he bought his supplies. Let me see. There's substantial public reporting based on an unsealed affidavit and other investigative reporting about how much evidence investigators found that the alleged Jan 5th bomber Brian J. Cole Jr. brought the bomb-making supplies, but it's not perfect or 100% conclusive. As with many criminal investigations, here's what we know and what remains uncertain. Okay, so yeah, this is just what's out to the public through that, what is that, affidavit? Okay. According to the prosecutors and public reporting, let me turn this down. Public reporting, investigators have collected multiple interlocking strands of evidence linking Cole to bomb-making materials and the Jan 5th bombing. Purchase history, bomb components. The affidavit shows that between 2019 and 2020, Cole used his bank and credit card records to buy materials investigators say are consistent with the components used to manufacture pipe bombs. You know, so that's what I'm saying. He went with his credit card. That anybody knows that's not what you want to do. Like, I don't get it. That is really, that just sounds so weird. You know, that's what makes me think the dude is a patsy, maybe. You know, like either that or and just like, dude, you made this bomb and you didn't even bother to think that you could be caught by taking your credit card to buy these. That's exactly how they would catch you, obviously, right? I mean, that's not a new thing. That's bomb investigating 101. You know what I'm saying? The items conclude galvanized metal pipes matching the bomb casings and caps, battery connectors, wire, white kitchen style timers used as timers in the bombs. Let me see here. Steel wool and other materials. Okay, steel wool. Yeah, well. The record also shows he bought tools and safety equipment useful for assembling bombs, wire strippers, sandpaper, protective gloves, safety glasses. Significantly, the purchase didn't stop right after Jan 5th. Investigators allege he continued buying components, pipes, batteries, timers, even after the bombs were placed. don't y'all find that a little strange? Like, don't you find that a little strange? I mean, to me, that just seems, again, like, please catch me. Somebody, can you catch me? Do y'all think there's more to this? Like, do you think there's more to this? Because Kash Patel and Pam Bondi can't be trusted. And they came out here and were like, the Biden administration, they had this and they just sat on it. They refused to prosecute it. But what if they're not really sure? What if they think there's more people involved? What if there's more to this? That's what I'm starting to wonder about this. Like, evidence, phone, look at this. Location, timestamp, evidence, phone data, license plate. You take your phone, the same phone you use registered to your name, and you drive it down there, but you don't know that these cell towers are going to pin your location and prove that you were there if you use your own phone. You don't know that? That's weird. So you buy the materials with your credit card connected to your bank in your name, and you continue buying them after the date. You use your cell phone registered to your name or the one that you normally use day to day. Yeah, excuse me. So you use that. The cell phone you use every day. Everyone can connect your name and your and who you are to that number, and you take that number down there and you let that hit the towers. And then you drive your car that everyone knows you have, and you drive it right down there. It really doesn't sound like you're trying to get away. It doesn't sound like you're trying to get away with a crime. It sounds like you might be trying to get caught for a crime, and that is very, very strange. I mean, I'm sorry, that is just really, really weird. I will never trust that. I will never trust that. That's too weird. That is just too weird. That's too weird for me, and but maybe there's more information that'll come out. I could always change my mind. Again, this is, I don't know anything about this dude. I don't know who he is. And, but all I could tell you is, damn, dude, you definitely didn't sound like you wanted to get away with a crime. Like, that's definitely not advisable if you want to get away with a crime to do it that way. Kids, don't do it that way. Don't do it the way J. Cole did, okay? Like, really, don't do it that way. You will regret it. You will end up behind bars and in jail and having some very poor investigators catch you, because you don't even have to be a good investigator to get this, which sounds really weird. And, when I hear, now that I think about Pam Bondi and the way she talked about it, like they really were like, but Biden and them, they refused to do anything about this. Is it because they suspect that more people are involved because this looks really weird? Is that what it could be? I mean, because I gotta tell you, I don't see how anybody who's investigating this dude wouldn't be thinking the same goddamn thing that I'm already saying. Like, this is weird. This is weird. This is this is the pipe bomber that, like damn, dude, why you even trying to commit crimes if you're going to take your cell phone in your car, dude? Like, what the fuck? Use your credit card, prepare for everything. Let me buy the murder weapon with the card. Fuck it. And the gloves. Give it to me. Give me the, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to buy the gloves. I'm going to buy the murder weapon with my card. I'm going to drive my phone around the place all day, stalking them just to let them know that I was in the area. Then I'm going to take my car and have people seeing me. Hello. Hey, how you doing? Cameras everywhere. It's like, it's one thing to have cameras on you. See, this is what don't make sense. The guy covered his face. He wore a mask. He walked around like that, covering with a hoodie and a mask on, taking extra precaution. But everything else, you took no precaution at all. It doesn't fucking, I'm telling you, it doesn't make sense. This is weird. This is really fucking weird. This is weird, but maybe the guy's just weird like that. Maybe he's just weird like that. But I got to tell you, this might baffle investigators. You know, and an investigator studying this crime, it might really baffle them. Like, something just doesn't seem right, you know? And there's that side of crime where detectives investigate crimes and their gut feeling tells them, even though they get a prosecution, maybe their gut feeling tells them something is not right. They're missing something, because investigators, detectives, they need things to work. They need things to make sense. This don't make sense. This doesn't make sense. So, you know, I don't know what else to say about that. This is really weird. But any case, I'm going to be out. I'll be back in like, 6 hours from now, 7:30. Yeah, exactly. But I wanted to illustrate one thing just for MAGA people that don't care if Trump lies and really just don't care about Trump lying and don't really care about, you know, the effect it has on other people. But listen, you have a man, you voted for a person who openly lies and doesn't care at all. Because look at this. When Trump first came into office, people asked him about his ICE policy. What was it going to be? And this is what Trump said. Look at what Trump said.
Let's talk about mass deportation, one of your big agenda items. You've talked about prioritizing people who have criminal histories.
Correct.
But is it your plan to deport everyone who is here illegally over the next 4 years?
Well, I think you have to do it. And it's a very tough thing to do. But you have to have, you have rules, regulations, laws. They came in illegally. The people that have been treated very unfairly are the people that have been online for 10 years to come into the country. And we're going to make it very easy for people to come in terms of they have to pass the test. They have to be able to tell you what the Statue of Liberty is. They have to tell you a little bit about our country. They have to love our country.
Trump can't even tell you what the Statue of Liberty is.
They can't come out of prisons. We don't want people that are in for murder. So we had 11,000 and 13,000 different estimates, 13,099 murderers released into our country over the last 3 years. They're walking down the streets. They're walking next to you and your family, and they're very dangerous.
The 13,000 figure, I think, goes back about 40 years.
No, it doesn't. No, it's within the 3-year period. It's during the Biden term. No, that was a fiction that they put that out. This was done by the Border Patrol. It's 13,099, and it's during the Biden period of time. And these are murderers, many of whom murdered more than one person. You don't want those people in this country.
But you're saying something, sir, that's significant. I just want to make sure I'm clear, which is that you're saying, yes, you're going to focus on the people with criminal histories, but everyone who's here illegally has to go.
I'm saying this. We have to get the criminals out of our country. We have to get people that were taken out of mental institutions and put them back into their mental institution, no matter what country it is. Do you know that Venezuela, their prisons are at the lowest point in terms of emptiness that they've ever been? They're taking their people out of those prisons by the thousands, and they're drunk. And just to get back, because I know exactly what you're getting at. Number one, we're doing criminals, and we're going to do them really rapidly. We're getting the worst gang probably with MS-13, and the Venezuelan gangs are the worst in the world. They're vicious, violent people. And you see what they've done in Colorado and other places. They're taking over, literally taking over apartment complexes and doing it with impunity. They don't care. They couldn't. They just are. They're in the real estate business.
The local police say that is not the case in Colorado.
Oh, it's totally the case. I mean, I have it
you
on
don't
tape.
believe the local police.
I play it. I used to play it at my rallies every single night. No, they're breaking into doors. They're taking over the building.
But sir, you
and by the way, the
point,
police are afraid to do anything.
You raised the point that the logistics are complicated. You said
Sure
it yourself.
they are, but everything's complicated.
Yeah, I mean, you need 24 times more ICE detention capacity just to deport 1 million people per year, not to mention more agents, more judges, more planes. Is it realistic to deport everyone who's
You have
here
no
illegally?
choice. First of all, they're costing us a fortune. But we're starting with the criminals, and we got to do it. And then we're starting with others, and we're going to see how it goes.
Who are the others?
others are other people outside of criminals. We have convicted murders. We don't mean people that are even on trial. We have people that have murdered numerous people are on our streets and in our farms, and we have to get them out of our country.
What about dreamers, sir? Dreamers who were brought to this country illegally as children.
Right, now, listen up to this part.
You said once back in 2017, they, quote, shouldn't be very worried about being deported. Should they be worried now?
The dreamers are going to come later, and we have to do something about the dreamers, because these are people that have been brought here at a very young age, and many of these are middle-aged people now. They don't even speak the language of their country. And yes, we're going to do something about the dreamers.
What does that mean?
And
what are you going to do?
I will work with the Democrats on a plan, and if we can come up with a plan, but the Democrats have made it very, very difficult to do anything. Republicans are very open to the dreamers.
So you see that? Listen.
Dreamers, which will work with the Democrats on a plan, and if we can come up with a plan, but the Democrats have made it very, very difficult to do anything. Republicans are very open to the dreamers. The dreamers, we're talking many years ago, they were brought into this country, many years ago. Some of them are no longer young people, and in many cases, they become successful. They have great jobs. In some cases, they have small businesses. Some cases, they might have large businesses, and we're going to have to do something with them. And
you want them to be able to stay. That's what you're saying.
I do.
Okay.
I want to be able to work something out, and it should have been able to be worked out over the last 3 or 4 years, and it never got worked out. You know, Biden could have done it because he controlled, Congress to a certain extent, right? He could have done something, but they didn't do it. I never understood why, because they always seem to want to do it, but then when it comes down to it, they don't. I think we can work with the Democrats and work something out.
Let me ask you about another group of people.
You see that? So Trump basically lied openly to everybody, all American citizens, about it, his intent. And and actually there were a whole lot of people that voted for him. A lot of people voted for him that were these DACA people. They were like, Trump is not talking about us. He openly lied. And again, you can there was a comment here. Let me read this comment from what is it? Gorb? I don't even know how to say that. What is this? Gorb? Gorb? Right. But he writes, I don't condone what happened on Jan 6, but I also don't condone what happened during the BLM riots or the most recent things against the federal government. Once violence is done, I can't support either side. Well, I think this thing, it's like, first of all, I don't know what you're talking about, BLM riots. So where's that? Do you have any proof were these people prosecuted or not? And like I said before, all people always are prosecuted. That's not the problem. The problem is when you pardon them. So Donald Trump is not against crime. Don't you have a problem with that? I mean, he's the only one that's not against crime. You see, nobody ever said, don't prosecute any BLM people if they committed a crime. Whoever said that? You see? And if any police didn't do that, you need to, call the police up on that. You see what I mean? But if you don't know it for yourself to be true, then you shouldn't try to use that as an excuse to want to know why the hell Trump pardoned people for January 6th, because that wasn't one crime. That wasn't just a couple of people. That's 1,000 fucking people, right? And they definitely threatened the life of the vice president and Nancy Pelosi and others. So, I'm sorry, but you can't just magically make up stuff. Now, you might have heard that there was a riot and you might get confused by the language, but, you need to be sure that nobody got prosecuted, and you need to be more specific than BLM, because there's loads of BLMs. That's just like saying any old city at any old time that had a demonstration. Anybody could call themselves BLM. You see what I mean? All you got to do is write BLM on a poster and hold it up in the air and say BLM. You know what I'm saying? So let me see something here. Have BLM protesters been prosecuted for committing any violence in any city? When it was reported. Let's see here. I mean, I think there's this misnomer that, you know, there's this misnomer that you don't prosecute BLM people. You know, who the hell told you that? Like, where'd you get that from? That's not true. You see? And that's the problem. You know, and no, none of them got any pardons. Okay? None of them got any pardons, and none of them called people to come to destroy property and to tell them you ain't going to have a country and you better fight like hell. Nobody said anything like that to these people. There's been instances where Black Lives Matter protesters were prosecuted for committing acts of violence or property destruction, but it's important to separate the vast majority of protests peaceful from specific incidents involving criminal acts. Yeah, exactly. You know, everybody up there, everyone up there on Jan 6, you saw committing violence. You didn't see that in any BLM protests. Scope of BLM protests. The BLM protests began in 2013, escalating significantly in 2020. George Floyd's death, millions of people participated in large peaceful demonstrations. I mean, did George Floyd's death bother you? I mean, did that bother you? I mean, George Floyd's death? You know? Or is that something you okay with? You know, I'm just saying, I'm not saying you are. It's just asking a question, you know, because a lot of people were okay with George Floyd being killed that way, you know, on camera. You know, a whole country had to watch a man on the ground for 9 minutes be smothered to death. You know what I'm saying? That's cruel. You know, did you see any BLM people do that to anybody? No, you didn't. You see? So you didn't see any BLM people take a hockey stick and smash a police officer upside the head. You know? Like, did you see BLM people throwing a bomb at the police on January 6th? Like they said, a person actually threw a bomb, threw an explosive at a police officer. Yeah. And we're not talking about the pipe bomber. You know, millions of people participated. Okay, so most arrests were minor offenses. Okay, curfew violations, blocking traffic, resisting arrest rather than violence. Okay, that hurts you. You're going to compare that to January 6th? You know what I'm saying? That's weird. I mean, yeah, that's weird. Instances of prosecution for violence or destruction. Some protesters engaged in criminal acts during certain BLM protests. They were prosecuted. So where's your problem? You know, the only people that don't get prosecuted are the people that fucking hurt and kill for Donald Trump. Just like the people he pardons for committing all other types of crimes. Aren't you sick of that? You're not sick of that yet, are you? No, so you're going to have some more from Donald Trump because you're not sick of that. You're thinking about something in 2020. It's 2020, 25. Crimes are happening in your face every second, and you're like, you okay with it. Basically, I don't commit violence at all, man. You're getting your life ruined. If you're an American citizen, doesn't matter what party you're from, your life is being ruined by Donald Trump right now and your family's life. Okay, Black Lives Matter can't ruin your fucking life or your family's life. They don't have that much power. You know, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Look, looting, arson, none of this was done in any federal building. I don't believe. Let's see here. But they were prosecuted again. They were prosecuted. Minneapolis. You see? They were prosecuted. Stores and police precincts. They were prosecuted for this. Whoever told you they weren't prosecuted lied to you. Okay? Whoever told you they got a pardon lied to you. Whoever told you Democrat states didn't prosecute these people, they lied to you. Okay? Minneapolis. Is that a Republican state? Is that a Republican city? No. But they prosecuted these people anyway, okay? So that little lie is really Republicans that are ones that ain't fucking prosecuting crime. Portland, Oregon. Does that sound like a Republican town? But they prosecuted them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, Louisville, Kentucky. Okay, maybe that's Republican. Breonna Taylor protest, Seattle, Washington. Okay, Molotov cocktails, that's something. Okay, throwing at police station, yeah, that's not cool. But again, they got prosecuted. So what's the problem? You know, I don't see why. You know, I don't see that. It seems really strange how, you know, that nobody is telling. You know, I'm not telling anybody to go out and commit violent acts, but I do recognize when people are pardoned for violent acts. I do recognize when people are allowed to commit violent acts and get away with it. That bothers me. Does that bother you? Because that's why people are talking about Jan 6. You see what I mean? And other things. I mean, you don't have Fourth Amendment rights right now. Your Fourth Amendment rights can be violated at any time in the United States of America. Are you bothered by that? That's also a crime. You know? So, yeah, I think, you know, people better start getting serious, man. You know, people better start getting serious and start prioritizing what their issues are. I mean, sure. Go after all the crime you should go after. Sure. I got no problem with that at all. But I would hope if you're a thinking person, you would be worried about the value of your home, the cost of goods so you can survive another day, the cost of your utilities, the fact you have no health care. That might be an immediate worry for you. You know, instead of BLM, that might be an immediate worry for you. You know, again, we're talking about January 6th because they got pardoned and a new bomber just got locked up. That's current. But typically, I'm talking about the other shit, like the fact that most of you ain't going to have no damn health care. You know what I'm saying? You pay 50% of your tax dollars don't even go to anything that remotely affects your life at all. Period. 50% of the taxes you pay. You see what I'm saying? And the fact that you got that going on and you don't have health care built into your tax system, you don't have education built into your tax system, and countries that do tend to take home after they pay their expenses and after they pay their taxes, the people that have universal health care and education, after they pay all their expenses and all their taxes, they still take home on average $1,000 more than the average every month than the average American citizen does. Something's wrong with that. I tend to talk about that a lot. That tends to bother me a lot. But you know what? It's not a lot of people that bothers. It's not a lot of people that bothers. It's not bothering a lot of Americans. A lot of Americans are locked into that shit. Like the Matrix. Like, oh, this is okay. You can suck my blood. That's what I call Americans right now. The you can suck my blood people. You know, like straight up. They can suck all your blood and you don't get shit for it. And you're happy. You will fight for that same system. You will be pissed off at BLM. And the person that's sucking your blood got you hooked up against a machine, taxing your ass every day and gaslighting you, trying to convince you that it's something wrong with you for wanting health care. You go, okay. So, yeah, man, people better get it straight, man. People better get it straight quick. Like, and again, nobody's going to drag you to the well. That's something you have to do on yourself. People can point you to it, but nobody's going to drag it. If you don't want health care, if you don't think you're deserving of health care with the taxes you pay, you don't think that every child has the right to education, you don't think those things are normal, you don't think you can get that with your tax dollars, then hey, then you don't. You don't. And the people that get that for their tax dollars, kudos for them. The ones that ain't smart enough to get it or demand it, oh well, let them burn. Let them burn if they want to burn. You know, like flat out, better you than me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I look at it. Like, really, better you than me. If you're one of those people that's fighting against healthcare and fighting against education, but you paying taxes to this fool, I say let them burn people like that. I'm only here for the people that get it, the people that actually want to do some data and do some comparative studies and actually see like, damn, right, this shit? Wow, that's fucked up. We need to do something about that. We can do something about that. That's straight up wrong. Why, as Americans, are we being taxed like this and not even having health care and education like all the other countries? Because you're being lied to and you accept being lied to. They tell you some shit like, yeah, socialism and you're going to pay more tax. That's not the reason why. That's not the reason why. No. That's not the reason why at all. So I think people might want to start worrying about that and start looking at BLM like they were the worst thing to ever happen to your life. BLM didn't fuck over the farming industry. BLM didn't fuck over the economy. BLM didn't make your health care more expensive. BLM didn't what else? All this other shit. BLM didn't do that. They don't have that power. The Republican Party did that. Okay? They did that, and they got you chasing BLM around and shit. Like, where's BLM? Where's BLM? BLM did this to me. Yeah, yeah, right. Okay. If that's where your mind is at, all right, you do that. You do that for yourself then. No problem at all. But in any case, I'm out, y'all. I'll be back 5 hours from now. I appreciate everybody. Be safe. Have a good Sunday, rest of your Sunday evening. I'm going to catch y'all on the late stroll, right? On the late stroll, that means like it will be around your time, like it'll be around between 12 and 3 a.m. this Sunday night for people in the U.S. And that will be around 9 a.m. Central European time, all right? So I'm going to catch up with y'all. Y'all be good. I appreciate everybody. I'm out one, all right? Be good. Click the like button, subscribe, release the Epstein files, stand up for your rights, know your value, man. Life is too short to be treated like a stepchild, like for real, by your own government. Like, stand up for yourselves, y'all. Vote. Encourage more people to vote. All right, peace.
Want war. Crime babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued when the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day in every crew. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep, leaving 7 rows to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die. You voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war. All they really want is the war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers, cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way to settle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't cause the TVs whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't fear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ad, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you I know how to see a whack MC when he bustin', but I just back away real cool, no fussin'. I'd rather go kicking in the streets with the bums and use the knowledge to collect what? Some funds. Open a non-profit and build a damn school. And this is the story of how a great king rules. There's many that claim to know the local demographic, but don't have the nerve to tell you the truth. It's tragic, but I do, so sit back and let me spit this shit to you. You feel better when I spit this shit to you. Despite the system trying to clamp down on the people will learn how to stand up to evil. Not evil that's across the globe, that's too far, but evil that lies in their own backyard. And fighting, it's not an option, they can't win. The government, it's not supposed to represent sin, but then again they do, and that's a problem. So let's go down and figure out how to solve them. It's not fun being a rapper that can't speak, but we do, yes, and plus we make fat beats. Yo, we smoke weed, break up trees. Listen, bringing fat beats, that is our mission. You wanted to see us, homeboy, shut up and listen. Thelonious and Big Bennett, brother, check the vision. Mentalities of different realities. Enter the Star Trek room when you hear the boom. I be the Walkman with the super bass. Automatic stop, yes, stereo cassette player. With the delayer, freaky lyrical sprayer. Extraterrestrial rhyme sayer. I be the poetical VIC/master of the ceremony. Tenderoni, won't you come step with me? I'm on a historical journey, kinda like Sigourney. Implore me to represent the attorney that represents my niggas, go figure. It's the card, they call me Uncle Bigger. Niggas love your blunts, down your liquors. I be the parallel to the fiction. You fixated on this brother's nature. Relaxed behavior, I might save your change. Flip it, rearrange. The whole concept, yo, is good for all your brain. Insane, psychotic, neurotic, black onyx, and hooked on phonics. Just atomic, it beats like a bonnet. Cut with the Asiatic, they all up on it. Rhyme static with the Bugatti type of skill. You wonder, is this nigga Vic really for real? It's still, but only necessary in the berry. I'm milk like dairy, they quite contrary. That's scary, but I'm a dog in the prairie. I scurry to grab my bones and just bury. Lyrical flurry, go get your secretary with impeccable dictions. My style might vary, so get a hold of your own shit real fast. Fucking with us, we take it right out your ass. Prairie dogs chill while those other dogs howl. Too many dogs get sent to the pound. Back on the hill, me and my peeps just lounge. Prairie dogs, we keep it on the down. Splatter, don't like gun splatter. We try to climb the ladder, wicked men get better. They make it like splatter, but it really don't matter. Cause you know we coming back to our sons and our daughters. So follow him, the one who protects ya. And the mother, she will never neglect ya. Through divine nature, the people respect ya. And in this way I deliver my lecture.